For the past 25 years, I have been completely obsessed with personal development, learning new things, educating myself, all in the pursuit of really living a life of freedom and on my own terms. And I've had struggles just like anybody else, but I really have been loving my life experience so far, and I'm really excited for the rest of it. I wanted to share some of the top lessons that I've learned over the past 25 years so that I can condense it down for you into a video that you can just watch over a cup of coffee. If you start implementing these things in your life, I think you'll find that you will be living a life full of purpose, intention, joy, freedom, inner peace, and overall a successful life, whatever success means to you. The first thing, and one of my favorite things to talk about, like if I were asked to do a TED Talk, I think this would be the topic I talk about. And that is taking 100% accountability and responsibility for everything in your life. So meaning you are 100% responsible for your life experience, for your happiness, for your joy, for your fulfillment, for your life situation, where you live, where you work, what you do, who you spend time with. Like when you assume 100% responsibility, that gives you the ultimate control and power in your life, because then you are not pointing fingers or blaming anybody else or any circumstances outside of yourself. I just think it is so foundational to being a happy human being. The next thing is the power of choice. You get to choose your mindset, your perspective, your emotions, the meaning you give to things. You get to choose if you're the kind of person who sees the glass half full or the glass half empty. I read a really great book called Choices. I'll link it below. It's not just about the big choices in life, like, what career you're going to pursue or who you're going to marry or which house you're going to buy or any of those things. Like, there's so many decisions, the tiny little decisions that we get to make every single day, like what time we wake up, what time we eat, if we exercise or not, what time we go to bed. You get to choose how you respond to people or situations. There's so many micro choices throughout every single day, and it's all of those tiny decisions added up that really create your entire life experience. Number 3, mindset is everything. And I know that sounds super cliche, but it's really true. Your thoughts create your reality. You've probably heard that saying before, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. In my 40 years of life experience, I have really found that to be true. I've become really good at manifesting and tapping into the law of attraction to create the life that I want. And I noticed that when I stay laser focused on what I want, what the best possible outcome is, that's what I get. Again, that goes back to the choice thing. You have a choice. You can choose what you focus on. You can choose your thoughts. Stop worrying about everything that could go wrong and what you don't want, and start focusing all of your energy and attention on what you do want. Now let's talk about perspective. One of my favorite quotes by Trent Shelton is, "Your perspective is your prison or your power." For example, one of the hardest struggles that I ever went through in my life was leaving an abusive marriage and going through a divorce and transitioning to becoming a single mom and all of that. That was literally the hardest part of my life. And I could have made the choice to feel like a victim, feel really woe is me and sorry for myself. Well, I didn't do that. I'm so grateful for that experience, because through that experience and having to save myself and save my daughter, I actually found my inner hero. I found a strength inside of me I didn't know I had. I developed new skills, and I have come out of it on the other side a much stronger person. And so now I can say, although it was really painful at the time, because I chose the perspective, like Tony Robbins says, life happens for us, not to us. I look at that now this happened for me so that I could find my inner hero, so that I could find my self-worth, so that I could be a voice to stand up for those who are suffering from domestic violence, so that I can be a cycle breaker and have a huge ripple effect for not just my daughter, but for generations to come. So yeah, your perspective is your prison or your power. Let's talk a little bit more about Tony Robbins' quote of life happens for us, not to us. I love that. Anytime something that at first feels negative or bad or heartbreaking or painful or any of that, I'm now able to ask myself, why is this happening for me? What is the lesson here for me to learn? By asking myself those questions, I'm able to flip my perspective again and find gratitude in the pain and in the struggle. And it gives me extra motivation to be like, okay, this is happening for me so that I can learn, whatever the lesson is. And then it's like, then I feel fired up. I'm like, awesome. Thank you, life. Thank you for giving me this, because now I'm going to learn more patience. Now I'm going to learn a new level of unconditional love. Now I'm going to learn how to be a better mom. Now I'm going to learn how to step into the next better version of myself. Life happens. Everybody is going to experience painful things, and it's a really good way to deal with it and make it through. Part of the human experience is that we all experience a range of emotions. I feel like I'm at like a really good place in my life where like I don't really like fear devastating things happening and like the emotion and the pain of what I could experience. First of all, because I feel like I've already gone through that. So now I just feel like I can handle anything. It's been a combination of my yoga practice, reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And this is what I believe. We are all a soul or a spirit or universal energy. Whatever you want to call it, there is like a life force inside of us that's universal, and we are all here having a human experience. Eckhart Tolle talks about becoming the observer. So like when you can kind of take a step back, be aware of your consciousness, and realize that the things happening in your human experience are just that. They are experiences. And nothing is permanent. Everything, it changes all the time. Like if you are in a hard situation, this too shall pass. I don't identify with my emotions. They are just a thing. They are their own entity that come to us and through us. And that's it. That was really deep. If you were following with me, like if you can really grasp that concept and embody that, it is completely life-changing and really freeing. I love this one. You don't need anybody's permission or approval but your own. It is so freeing when you realize that. And this ties back to the first thing I talked about, which was 100% accountability. When you take full responsibility for your life, you are in charge, and you don't need anybody's permission but your own for whatever. Fill in the blank. You want to quit your job and do something else? Go for it. You want to move to another country? Go for it. Live your life for you, not what somebody else thinks that you should be doing, or because you're seeking approval from your parents or anybody else for that matter. Like at the end of the day, you are the one experiencing your life. You are the person that you have to hang out with 24/7. Live life on your own terms and do what truly makes you happy, and not according to anybody else's expectations of what you should be doing. This leads me to the next point. Make sure that you are seeking advice from people who have successfully done the thing that you want to do. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about finances. Learn how to become financially literate. This is something that I've had to teach myself in my 30s, and I really wish I would have learned this earlier. A good place to start would be learning about the cash flow quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki and Myron Golden's window of wealth. Focus on accumulating more assets than liabilities. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. If you just remember those two things, assets and liabilities, you will be off to a really good start financially and building wealth for yourself for a life full of financial freedom. The best investment you can ever make is in yourself. Something Alex Hormozi says that I absolutely love is the concept of the S&Me 500 instead of the S&P 500. Because when you invest in yourself and your knowledge and your skills, you can exponentially grow your earning power. And when you earn more, then you have more money to make smart investments. I learned from somewhere, I can't remember where, but until you learn how to earn money in your sleep, you will always be trading your time for money. And that is a recipe for like just being on that never ending hamster wheel where you feel like you can't get ahead. And it's just not a good path to building wealth if building wealth is something that's important to you. If you haven't already started some sort of side hustle, like, maybe you have a job right now and that's awesome. I had a career in corporate America for about 10 years and it was the best education that I got paid for, which was amazing. So I think jobs are absolutely valuable. And what I wish I would have done differently, because I did that like in my decade of my 20s, I wish I would have been investing in starting a side hustle to learn how to create multiple streams of income so that I could make money in my sleep. I wish I would have started doing that earlier and not started the entrepreneurial journey in my 30s like I did. Make your own definition of success. It's just been in the past year that I've been able to really put into words how I define success. So here it is. I think success is the ability to be able to enjoy life no matter what. And I got those words from Wayne Dyer in one of his books. I can't remember the title. Like, I'll put it below. I have to go home and look at the actual book title. My other definition of success is doing what I want when I want to. I've been an entrepreneur for like 11 years and counting. And really that's why, because I don't ever want to have a boss ever again. Like I said, I've been like on this relentless pursuit to just live a lifestyle of freedom. And to me, that's what entrepreneurship provides. What does success look like to you? It doesn't have to be the standard of what society calls success. Self-confidence is not the same as self-worth. If you don't feel worthy of receiving love, you won't receive it. If you don't feel worthy of receiving money, you won't receive it. I heard a quote, like somebody said, you'll never earn a penny more than you feel you deserve. That's really true. Yeah, if you have not started examining your self-worth or started working on that, that would definitely be something I recommend diving into. A good place to start would be reading the book Worthy by Jamie Kern Lima. And I also highly recommend getting a therapist or getting a life coach or an emotional coach or whatever you want to call it. Find a mentor, like somebody who can really help you with all of the mental stuff. Follow your intuition and your inspiration. When you get a gut feeling about something, you just feel like that like deep impulse that you have to do something, like follow that. Every time that I have denied or ignored that whisper, like, there's a red flag there. Every single time that I have ignored my gut instinct, it backfired. Like when I take action and I just live according to what I feel inspired to do and what my intuition, what my gut instinct is telling me, everything works out. So follow it. It's there for a reason. Don't take anything personally. I really learned this in reading The 4 Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. I just feel like every human being should read that book. What other people do has nothing to do with you. And it just has everything to do with them. From personal experience, I know that this is something easier said than done. It's really easy to be like, oh, I don't care what people think. I don't take things personally. But like, do you actually live it? Because I know that I used to really struggle with taking things personally. I used to get like defensive, really take things to heart and then like doubt myself and all of this stuff. And it's like, other people's behavior is totally about them. It has nothing to do with you. You can't control other people. You can only control how you respond. Just keep that in mind. No is a full sentence. Learn how to say no, learn how to set boundaries. You don't have to like make up lies and over explain yourself or feel like you have to justify yourself of why you don't want to do something. Like, just no, thank you. That's it. But before you can even learn to say no and set boundaries, you really have to be self-aware. What are the things to say no to? I learned this from Marie Forleo, and I absolutely love this. She said, if it's not a full body yes, it's a no. So that's the filter I put things through. When there's an opportunity to do something, no matter what it is, I'm like, is it a full body yes? And if it's not, I say no. Simple as that. All right, and the last thing I'll leave you with is this quote from Eckhart Tolle: change it, leave it, or fully accept it. This has been a motto of my life that I've been living by for probably over 20 years now, because it just sets you free. Whenever there is a circumstance in your life that you don't like, ask yourself, can I change it? Can I leave it? Or am I going to fully accept it? Like, you only have those 3 choices in any situation. Everything else is madness, as Eckhart Tolle says. And like trying to change something that you literally cannot change, like the weather or other people's behavior, Trying to change it or wish it was different is going to drive you absolutely insane. Change it, leave it, or fully accept it. All else is madness. And then when you make that decision, that ties back to what we talked about at the beginning, which is taking full accountability and responsibility for your life. If you can embrace these concepts, you will set yourself free and you will be set up to live a life that's truly filled with inner peace, joy, and success. Again, whatever you decide success means to you. Please share in the comments which life lesson was your favorite. And if you like this video, you might want to watch this one on my channel. We'll see you next time.